have this thing in mind कि इस साल नहीं हुआ तो अगले साल हो जाएगा. But then I never had this thing in mind. I always thought that this is my first and last opportunity. All of the 3 stages were equally difficult, I'll say, and there will be times when you will feel that it is quite draining and it is taking all of your energy and you're not able to concentrate on anything. But yeah, once it's done and you are through with it, it will be totally worth it.
Guys, today we have Khushi with us, who just got through IIM Bangalore, the much coveted IIM Bangalore. So we are going to learn from her what things did she do over the past few years to build her profile to get into IIM Bangalore. Welcome, Khushi Nagpal.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. So first, let's have a small introduction about yourself.
Sure. So, my name is Khushi Nagpal, and currently I'm in my final year. I'm pursuing BCom Honors from Delhi University, and I'm also interning with Hello Study Global. So, to build my profile and to get through IIM Bangalore, it was not an easy process. But then, throughout these years, through internships and complementing my academic achievements with extracurriculars, I made my way through it. So,
wonderful.
Thank you.
So, we'll get into the preparation part. I know the clearing the CAT is one of the biggest hurdles.
Definitely.
So we'll get into that, but before let's try and understand more about you as a person. So what are your hobbies? Hobbies also play an important role.
Sure.
In the interview. Yes.
So my hobbies include photography and designing. Designing was something which I developed as a hobby during the lockdown period. I started to analyze my skills and use them productively. And then I provided a meaningful perspective to this hobby as I started interning with Hello Study Global as a graphic designer. So all of these past 2 years have been very fruitful for me. So because I have been able to capitalize upon my hobby. So yeah, these are some of my hobbies, and I like designing in my free time. And apart from that, I like watching movies and listening to songs.
Okay, so that's a wonderful thing. You had hobby of designing, and then you started putting that to a greater use. You started interning with graphic designing, and then you rose up the ladders. Tell us more about your journey with Hello Study Global. You interned with us. You've been a very valuable intern. So let's talk about that.
So I remember I joined back in September 2022. I joined as a human resource intern here because I had good communication skills. So I was selected, and then I spent 1 month working as an HR. But then I also discovered that there is a designing department here. So I joined the graphic designing department, and then I worked for a couple of months as an HR and graphic designer, and it was really great. The entire atmosphere, the working environment and everything has always been it has always been in my favor, and also I felt really great because it was a friendly environment. So obviously working in a friendly environment, who doesn't want that? And I also got to learn new things. I also got to learn how to work in a team. And then recognizing my good performance, the team also decided to promote me as a mentor after that, after a couple of months. So then I was promoted as a mentor, and then I developed on the skills of leadership, management, etc. And that's when I knew that pursuing MBA at this stage would be the best opportunity for me, because I know I have developed those skills, how to manage a team and how to lead a team, basically how to sync the objectives of individuals in your team with the organization's goals, basically. So yeah, that was something when I also realized that MBA would be fruitful for me. So
very good. Okay, so Khushi, apart from IIM Bangalore, where else did you get the interview shortlist?
Sure, sir. So apart from IIM Ahmedabad and IIM Calcutta, I had calls from all the other IIMs, including Bangalore, Lucknow, Kozhikode, and Indore. So I had calls from other baby and new IIMs as well. And apart from the IIMs, I had calls from FMS, MDI, IIT, these prestigious institutions as well. So yeah, then I went on with all of the interviews and everything, and the results are now being published slowly and gradually. So I have converted MDI, I have converted IIM Bangalore, as we know, and then I've also converted IIT Delhi. So the rest of the results are yet to be published, but these are some of my conversions lately. But I've made my way through one of my dream B schools, which is IIM Bangalore. So I always had Bangalore on my mind. So I think, I'd be choosing that.
Now, you might have been asked this question several times, and in particular, IIM Bangalore. Why IIM Bangalore?
Sure, sir. So apart from the soft corner which I always had from IIM Bangalore, I also feel that the curriculum and the atmosphere there, the opportunities that I will get there will be endless and will definitely help me to build upon my profile, to build upon like personal development as well as professional development, and engaging in that kind of an environment, because we all know that IIMs have this very hectic culture. They engage you with a lot of with a fruitful work life basically. So yeah, I feel that that is why I would definitely choose, and we all know that it has a very good ranking. It's a prestigious, one of the prestigious B schools in Asia as well. So yeah, first it was my dream B school, but then when I got the call, I felt started feeling realistic about it, and then finally I've converted. So I feel like this is one of my greatest achievements.
So it was not a difficult decision to make, because you were very clear that you wanted to go to IIM.
Yes, it was not a difficult decision, because people say that they have their favorite B school is IIM Ahmedabad for obvious reasons, because it has #1 ranking. But then I was never one of those. I always had Bangalore on my mind. So yeah, the day I converted, I was very emotional, and then it started feeling all real. So it was a very good, great experience.
Wonderful, great. You're currently studying in Delhi University.
Yes.
So let's talk about your undergrad journey. How did you balance your academics with internship, with preparation of exam like CAT?
Okay, so there is a great dynamic transition that all of us face while going from school life to college life, and I was one of those students as well. School life is more about studies and less about extracurriculars. College life becomes more about extracurriculars, internships and everything. So I was academically great since childhood, so I thought that it won't be difficult in college, but in initial months it was very difficult to manage all of the societies and clubs work, and also the internships that I was initially doing, and then the academic semester exams and everything. It was very difficult, but then as I went on with that, I knew that I did not have a choice, because I had to build upon my profile, for which all of these three things, including the academics, extracurriculars and internships, were necessary. So I just divided my time accordingly, and then tried to balance all of the three. So yeah, when the semester exams approached, I used to study for them a month ago, and the rest of the time I used to devote in the extracurricular activities, organizing events, cultural events and everything, and my internship work. So yeah, that's how I tend to manage all of the schedule, and I feel that I was successful as well to some point, because I never did lose that grip on my academics. I have a good CGPA until now, till the very final year, and also I have been doing great in my internships and the extracurricular societies as well. So I think I was able to manage, and all of us, if we want to manage our time, we can definitely do that.
Absolutely right. Now, out of different stages are there, towards finally getting into IIM Bangalore.
Yes, sir.
So the CAT stage and the GDPI interview stage. So which stage did you find most difficult, most challenging? And second, we'll talk about the interview after we're done discussing this question.
Sure, sir. So yeah, as you said, there are different stages, starting with the CAT preparation. Firstly, when I was starting with my CAT preparation, I was very anxious that, okay, this is going to be tough and everything. And when I started on with that, in the initial months, I used to take it very lightly. I used to just do the basics and everything. And as and when the exam started approaching, the date and everything came out, the admit cards were published, it all started feeling real that, okay, I have my CAT exam, which is very important for me. So there is one thing that you can give CAT n number of times, as many times as you want. So people think that they have this thing in mind कि इस साल नहीं हुआ तो अगले साल हो जाएगा. But then I never had this thing in mind. I always thought that this is my first and last opportunity. I think that factor somewhere helped me, because when you know that you have to give your best shot in that particular attempt only, you put in all your efforts to do that. So yeah, I did study rigorously in the last 3 months. I gave mocks, I managed my time and everything. And yeah, and then the CAT day approached. I was very anxious, all butterflies and everything. I had the morning slot. And then the CAT exam, I appeared for the CAT exam, and after that I had mixed feelings that, okay, it did not go well. But when I came out of the exam room, I heard other people's views and everything, especially the quants part was really difficult during my year. So I heard the views of other people, so I was a bit relaxed. Okay, I've done better than other people, so I might end up securing a good percentile. So yeah, that was that. But then the entire what I'll say is what this process requires is patience, because I started back in January and then in November I gave the exam. December the results came. I was very happy. Okay, I've cleared CAT. Like I have secured a good percentile. And then the GDPI preparation. So it at that point of time it felt very draining and a never-ending process. कि अच्छा अभी तो एक second के लिए I was very happy, and then I had to move on to the next stage quickly. So I remember I had hardly 15 days time between the when I received the IIM Lucknow. The IIM Lucknow call was the first call which I got, and then after 15 days I had my interview. So I was all anxious and everything, that how will I prepare and all of that stuff. But then okay, I consulted like some of my seniors as well on how to do the preparation for interview and everything, and then I divided my time accordingly and prepared for the interview. And then the interviews kept on happening for the 3 months, duration of the 3 months. And finally, I was through with the interviews. I was relaxed. But then again, another anxiety came up, which was the results. So yeah, I think patience is something we need to have in this entire process. So all of the 3 stages were equally difficult, I'll say. And there will be times when you will feel that it is quite draining and it is taking all of your energy and you're not able to concentrate on anything. But yeah, once it's done and you are through with it, it will be totally worth it.
You've been a confident person, so interview must not have been a challenge. Despite that, if you can remember some instances or maybe some question which was little more challenging or caught you off guard. So yeah.
Okay, so sir, yeah, this is a very common misconception that people have. Ki if you're confident, then interview is not a challenge. It's not like that. I think it's a key which definitely helped me, like majorly, I'll say. But then it was not all about confidence, because I knew that I was confident. I had good communication skills. But then something which I was anxious about was the questions, kind of questions that they're going to ask us. We all have heard about IIM interviews, that how tricky they are and how much they try to entangle you in their questions. So it was, that. So I started preparing on with the academics, the current affairs and everything. And the day the interview happened, I remember my first interview. So my IIM Lucknow interview was very short. It was 10 minutes. And my IIM Bangalore interview was, I think, 25 minutes. So it also depends on panel to panel and everything. So that is subjective for everyone. So I remember in the Lucknow interview, they asked me all about it. They like the first question he asked me, like, what does my father do and everything. And then he moved on to the next question, which was, which is your favorite subject? I told him that marketing and advertising subjects intrigued me always during my college life. But then he said, okay, next favorite. I said, sir, I like accounts and all of that, accounting subjects. And then he said, okay, third favorite. So he brought me down to economics because he was an economics professor, which I found out later. So he wanted to ask what he knew, basically, what he had expertise in. So you cannot, even if you try to bring it your way, the interview sometimes does not go your way. But then that is the point here, that you should be clear with basics of all of your academic subjects, because they can ask you depending upon their mood, their expertise and everything. So yeah, they asked me a few economic questions and I was able to answer a couple of them, but then a couple of them I also fumbled and got confused because they were trying to put situations in front of me, and then
Can you mention some of those situations, some of the questions that you remember in general? What kind of questions were there?
Okay, so first question was about the ISLM curve, which is the investment savings and liquidity money supply curve, which is a very core concept of macroeconomics. So if you are studying basics, you will not be prepared with this kind of a question. But somehow I remembered some part of it. So I told about the full form. I told about that this is about that it shows the relationship between the investment savings and basically the goods market and the money market. So all of these things I mentioned in my interview. Then he started giving me situations, okay, which type of money aggregate is used in that money market. So there are a couple of money aggregates, M1, M2, M3. So all of these questions, this again was a very core part of that topic. I was not prepared with it. So I said simply, sir, that I don't know. Because it is very important not to waste your and their time, because it is very crucial. They take number of interviews in a day, and if you end up beating around the bush and wasting their time, they will get annoyed and there are chances that you might be rejected or end up having a low score in your interview. So I simply said, I don't know. And then he moved on to next questions, a couple of questions. He asked me about my city also. What was the old, I'm from Kanpur, so the old name of Kanpur, all of the British time, the importance at the Kanpur had British times. Mein. So everything he asked about that. Yeah, so that was that. And then the interview ended. I had mixed feelings whether it was good or not and everything. But then the interview ended. So yeah, then I started preparing for my next interview, and the interviews went on, and then the Bangalore interview came. It was on 27th February, I remember. So it was very random. First question I went in, it was near my college, like it was in the Indian Habitat Center, and my college, I'm from Dayal Singh, so the distance between them is very less. So first thing I entered the room, I asked, may I come in and everything, and I sat there and they asked me, what is the distance between the venue and your college? And without even taking a second, I answered 2.4 kilometers. So she taunted me, so you're a mind reader, you know how to read minds. So I told her, no ma'am, in the morning only I was checking for cabs, so I know the distance. And apart from that, I've also visited the Habitat Center multiple times, so I know the distance. So I said very calmly, not to brag, ki, okay, I know. So all of these little things are what they catch and give you points on. So yeah, so I said that I checked in the morning only, so I know. So she was like, okay. And then she randomly asked me who was Dayal Singh, and she was expecting that I will not know. But then a couple of 4 to 5 questions in the starting, whatever she asked, somehow by luck or something, I will not say that, but yeah, somehow I knew all of them. So I thought that I have taken turned the interview around my way, and now it is in my favor, so it will go smoothly, it will end up smoothly. And then she also brought up economics, demand supply, relation between demand supply, very basic. I was able to tackle all of those questions. And then the next interview also asked me some questions about academic. And then the major part of my interview discussion was based on quick commerce stores, which is Blinkit, Zepto's, like Zomato is trying to make Blinkit a big platform and everything. So all of that. And yeah, I think I had good knowledge about that. I'll say the luck also worked in my favor that day. I was very lucky, and also I prepared for it thoroughly because it was one of my best calls and I had to convert it. So yes, that was that about my interviews. And yeah, there are whimsical kind of questions as well. They ask you very random questions just to, see or test your confidence. How are you able to tackle those questions? They know that you will not know the answer. Like if they ask you what is the world population at this particular moment, obviously you will not know the answer. You will say it's around 8 billion, but then exact number you will not know. But then they want to see your expressions, your body language and everything. So I think, yeah, that is something which you should work on if you're preparing for your interviews.
They want to see that how do you tackle pressure and
yes, exactly.
If something you don't know or something doesn't work out, how do you respond to that situation?
Yes, so the confidence, and if it's not something of your background, then how do you tackle that question? If you just, as I mentioned, don't waste the interviewers and your time. Just, if you're not aware, just say that you don't know. Simply, they'll appreciate that.
Wonderful. That's a good suggestion. So speaking of suggestions, what would you suggest to those students who watching this interview and who preparing to get into the top tier IIMs?
Sure, sir. So one major thing which I would suggest is patience. Very important. From starting the day one when you start preparing for CAT till the end, if you make through, like if you get through CAT and then you get the chance of appearing for interviews, till that day you should be patient. You should believe in yourself, because if you want, you can bring it all in your favor if you want. So many people said when I converted Bangalore, they told me that I deserved it and everything. So it felt very great that people know that how much effort did I put in, and so they were appreciating me accordingly. So if you put in the right amount of efforts, and it is very important to put in the right amount of efforts at the right time. If you're starting in January, let's say, and from that day, first day onwards, you started studying for 6 to 8 hours from the very first day, you will be obviously exhausted by November till the CAT exam approaches. So that's not the correct way. So it is very important to strategize it according to your own personal ways and own personal needs that suit you, and then work upon it. And very important is to capitalize upon your weaknesses. If you don't have good communication skills, maybe you can start reading some good English books, or start engaging more with people. It is very important because it is going to help you at the end of the day. So yes, that was about interviews and about CAT. Just believe in yourself, and definitely whoever is preparing will make through it. I believe that.
Wonderful. So with that note, we're going to conclude today's interview. So it was very helpful. Thank you, Khushi Nagpal, for joining us. For more such interviews, stay updated with our content. Subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.